yeah, yeah. On local side, yeah.
Going places first season, we're going across South Africa. Tomorrow we start off with Newcastle and then we get to Durban. Then from Durban, East London to PE, and then we cross all the way through the Garden Route to Cape Town. And then from Cape Town all the way up north to Kimberley and then to Johannesburg. So first thing I want to know, Brian, right? We've got 4,000 kilometers, 50 hours of driving. What should we look out for?
When you're driving such journeys, you have to keep your eyes on the dashboard. You get the oil lights, all the warning lights, the battery light, the temperature gauge, and then center.
What was the problem with the car, or what you found that seemed to be the problem?
What you did basically was to do all the checks. Check the brakes, check the gearbox oil, check the cooling system, you safe the starter motor, and as well as the stabilizer body.
So tomorrow morning, the official journey starts at 4 a.m. So we bought this giant map of South Africa, so we're going to figure out how we're going to travel around South Africa. So we've got about 12 days, 4,200 kilometers, so we're looking at about 13 places, and then we're going to discover the people there, the culture and lifestyles and stuff like that. So we're going to be making a few stops here and there, but our first journey is to Newcastle. So we're in Gauteng, right? So we need to get to Newcastle, and then we're traveling all the way. There are little places like Klerksdorp. I think we'll pass through Klerksdorp. And then, where is Newcastle here? This is going to be very interesting. I think it's even better just to take the N17. And then from the N17, we take the N11. The N11 takes us straight to Newcastle. It's just going on a journey for everybody to learn how it is, old school, you know. Put a map to play and some money for fuel. The whole journey is going to be me and Big Shirley. S320 Mercedes-Benz, always reliable, you know what I'm saying? So 4,200 k's, 50 hours of driving on the road with this big car. Old school, safe, reliable, and it's going to be an interesting journey just to discover the world, you know? So this is going places. So we've got our emergency numbers and everything. We've got the map. All is good. Put on your safe belt, lights on. Okay, we got half a tank for now, so it's all good. Let's go. So we are on the N1 now. Time is 6 o'clock exactly. So we've got about a 4-hour journey, and we're looking at about 10:30 ETA, your estimated time of arrival. So we're in Foxtrot. We've driven 4 hours, 9 minutes, 55 seconds, and we are 55 k's to Newcastle. It's been a drive. Did about 4.5 hours driving. We're in Newcastle, the Black Rock, so we're going to talk to some people at Newcastle FM. We're going to try and figure out who's at the radio station at Newcastle FM. I just find out who's going to be there, surprise them. The whole show is about exploring. So we are at Newcastle 103.7. Okay, so we're going to talk to some people from the Newcastle Community Radio and just find out what the radio station is all about, when it was established, how well it's doing, what kind of listenership it's got, and all of that kind of stuff. And make sure all people around the world can also understand what Newcastle is also about. What's in Newcastle that I could just say, okay, that's Newcastle is about?
We have the potato chips called Porto. Ne? Everyone knows Porto.
Where can we get Portos, man? I mean,
Down the road, Allen Street.
Portos, are they traditional, or is it just like something unique about Newcastle?
It's a slab chip, but they are unique from
Is it?
other chips.
Is it?
Yes.
So if I want to go to Newcastle, that's the first thing I
if
say.
you're here in Newcastle,
Yeah.
then when you go back, they will ask you, did you ever try to taste Porto?
Is it?
So you should not make a mistake of living without eating that Porto.
I think we're gonna go and have Porto.
I think it's Porto in
So
Newcastle.
your radio show, what do you guys talk about on a daily basis? I mean, you be.
Yeah, we talk about different issues concerning the youth of Newcastle.
Yeah.
Entertainment,
Yeah.
fashion, sports.
So in between your news bulletins, what do you do? Because I see there's a casino here. Okay.
I just compile something that has a wow factor.
Okay.
Something that says listen to me. You
Yeah,
get that?
I'm
I-
listening.
I try to get something like
Keep
that.
going.
So should it happen that maybe
Yeah.
some incident is happening right here, I have a right to do that and let the listeners know about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going places. Newcastle. Community radio with the two beautiful ladies.
Going places on noble side.
Where is the new Newcastle Community Radio going? What's the bigger plan or big idea with it?
Well, our bigger plan is to go online so that
Yeah.
one day, whatever anyone needs, let's say if you are abroad, they can be able to log on and
Yeah.
listen to Newcastle Community Radio. I
Okay.
think maybe by next year, we'll be done.
Okay.
Then it will be easy to listen to Newcastle Community Radio. Because our main thing is to focus on the local news, what's happening locally, so that people can know and understand
Yeah.
what Newcastle is doing. Because
Okay.
Newcastle is one of the most interesting places to be,
Yeah.
especially in Northern Natal.
Okay.
Because Newcastle is in between Newcastle and Durban.
Yeah.
It's easy coming to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Because we can drive from Joburg in 3 hours time you'll be in Newcastle. Even if you're coming from Joburg, Durban,
Yeah.
it's still the same. Also Bloemfontein,
Yeah.
and also on the east it's Richards Bay.
For someone who's touring the country just out of interest, discovering and learning new things. Okay, from a business point of view, is there any collaboration between Newcastle Community Radio and the casino?
Some of their promotions at
Yeah.
the radio station, they are online, and also people who are marketing,
Yeah.
they do use our community radio station.
Oh,
for
okay.
marketing the casino.
Oh, I think you're doing a great job. I think this is exciting. I've seen there's a lot of young people here, and I think they can carry on a good ambassadorship for them to actually support the community and
That's
Newcastle.
our main target as the community radio station, so that we give the youth of
Yeah.
the district the opportunity, because the community radio is where people they practice, so
Yeah.
that in future they can be able to be absorbed
Yeah.
by the bigger radio station.
Yeah.
Like in SABC, we do have people who have been with us,
Yeah.
that have been trained by Newcastle Community Radio.
Yeah.
And we are very proud about that.
Okay.
Especially Radio Ukozi, we do have people who have been with us.
Is it?
Especially people who are reading news.
Ah.
People like Joe Maruping.
Yeah. So this is a grooming platform, really.
The community radios are grooming platform, because even if you go to the big radios, you'll find that most presenters, they started with the community radio.
Exactly, yeah.
So now the community radio, it's a platform that's where people learn.
If somebody who's sitting, say, in Newcastle, England, and they were finding out about Newcastle, South Africa, I mean, what message would you give them?
Newcastle is a part of the battlefield route.
Yeah.
As you understand that in Natal,
Yeah.
there were battles that were fought here. So whenever you are visiting KZN,
Yeah.
especially on the northern side,
Yeah.
there were a lot of battles that were fought here in Newcastle.
Okay.
It's a route from Newcastle, Dundee, Vryheid,
Exactly.
Sandton.
Yeah.
So now Newcastle is part of that route.
Okay, so what's the brief history with the naming of Newcastle? How was it? How did it come about to be Newcastle? Yeah.
Newcastle was named after Newcastle in England.
Yeah. I think it's around about 1896. I don't know. Yeah, but somewhere there, I think. Yeah.
Because now, if maybe you can recall, in the world,
Yeah.
we've got more than 52 cities called Newcastle.
Something new to learn. Something
Yes,
new.
So Newcastle, it is part of the Newcastle of the World Alliance.
Okay.
Every second year, there is a summit in the world.
About Newcastle.
Yes, of all the Newcastle. Fortunately, Newcastle, South Africa, we were fortunate to host the summit in 2004
Okay.
and also in 2010.
Yeah.
We hosted the summit, all the Newcastles of the world. But fortunately, it was only 7 that were here.
Yeah.
The next year, it's also going to be a summit.
Yeah.
The second year.
Wow.
Whereby we're exchanging information.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
About the youth program, especially in economy, culture, and all those things. So now, some of these towns, you find they don't share the name Newcastle. It's according to their language.
Yeah.
Like in Switzerland,
Yes.
it's called Newcastle. That's
Oh,
in
yes. Oh, okay, yeah.
In Japan, in Japanese, it is called Shinshiro. So now,
Interesting.
like in Germany, in England, we've got 2 Newcastles.
Yeah.
In the UK, Newcastle upon time and
Yes.
Newcastle underline. And also in America, we've got Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
Yes,
there are a
yeah.
lot of them.
Okay.
So
Well,
quite interesting about the Newcastle. So now, if you are part of that network, it's easy to share information and experience, which is a very good opportunity even for our presenters and news readers, so that as time goes on, they can be able to be exchanged
yeah.
in these programs of the other Newcastles. But the unfortunate part, it is not everybody who is aware.
Yeah.
Until you come in and get closer, you understand all the opportunities. And I think as we have been traveling in the world, you know that if you want something, you've got to stand up and get information.
Now imagine that, if you're in the world out there and you're actually hearing all this information. This is my first time, this is first knowledge about Newcastle and the history of Newcastle. 52 cities across the world named after Newcastle. And some of them are actually named after, in their native indigenous languages. Yeah. Something I've learned today on Going Places, exploring South Africa, is something I wouldn't have read in a book, but I've actually gone out to find out about Newcastle, and I've learned something incredibly new. See, traveling makes you learn much more. Well, thank you, Mr. Andile Masonda. I really appreciate your time, and I'm also appreciating your wealth of knowledge, which we are obviously going to share with the world. And this is a place that's in the middle of between Joburg and Durban.
Going places on noble side.
Sometimes things you can't just read them or Google them, you just gotta go and find out about them. So from Mr. Masondo and Newcastle, what's next? We don't know, we just have to keep going places. Exploring South Africa with EMP. Thank you, Mr. Masondo. We'll see you next time. Yeah? Thank you, man. All right, thank you, Lord. Stuff that I was going to Google and research on the net didn't even show up from what this guy has told me. 52 cities named after Newcastle. But what's so amazing about this guy, he's only been running this station for 2 years. 2 years, imagine that. This guy just did it for the sake of just interest of the community, and he's met the mayor, he's met the MEC and everything. So before security stops us and get the camera, I'm just gonna say, yeah, you never learn until you learn. Randburg is where we started, and then we traveled all the way here. Went through to Emilio, and then we passed through Volksstraat, and then we are in Newcastle right now. So all these 3 places we've sort of driven, although we've taken a longer route, instead of taking the R23 to Volksstraat straight, we've gone through, what's this place called? Eromelo place. Right here. This is where we were, and then we ended up here, Volksstraat, and then we moved down to Newcastle. So we're gonna drive all the way from Newcastle to Ladysmith. Yeah? And then from Ladysmith. But we could do some situations where if we drive, we could stop at Escort. Yeah? Or we could end up at Pietermaritzburg. Pietermaritzburg will be an hour away from Durban. So wherever the petrol takes us, we could definitely stop either Ladysmith or Escort or Pietermaritzburg. So wherever we get at 8, we just crash, just rest. 2 early hours of the morning so that we travel while it's so daylight. But this is us signing off from Newcastle.
Watching going places, a noble sight.